Hey, you.
Don't forget to like and subscribe because about 90% of our watch time is from viewers who aren't subscribed. So subscribe so we know you like this.
Or don't. Hello, I'm Jared.
And I'm Ebony, and this is his.
And hers, Warhammer 40k.
Yay.
Yay. Today we're talking about The Silent King by Guy Haley, the last of the Dawn of Fire books.
The very last one.
Yeah, book 9. How did we feel about this one?
That was very political. How did we feel about it? I don't hate it. I don't hate this book. But I do feel like for almost 50 chapters of book, half of the book is just where is this person and what were they doing, and like this story doesn't start until you're well past chapter 20, I don't think, and that was like a stress for me.
Okay, here's my issue with this book. If this was in the spot that the Martyr's Tomb was in,
Okay.
around book 6, I think, fine.
Okay. Yeah.
This could fill the Martyr's Tomb spot.
Like it's just filler. It's like 85% filler.
Yeah. This, despite its name,
That's also at the top of my list. This book is called The Silent King, and you don't hear about this Silent King until well past chapter 20.
40.
If they like say someone like mentions his name, I feel like around chapter 29 or something.
It's just okay. Throughout the Dawn of Fire series, there have been occasional mentions about the Nephilim anomaly, and if you know things that happen during the Psychic Awakening, you know that's the Pariah Nexus, and if you've read a few other books, there's mentions of this thing. We have gotten these details a number of times already, and there's really not a lot new here other than some connective tissue to the start of Dark Imperium.
Yes.
I mean,
Like a very heavy-handed connection to the start of the Dark Imperium.
we get to see, like, the Necron fleet is very impressive, and they kick ass. And I don't know. I was not feeling this one at all. Like, this is
Okay.
the poorest that I've read for Guy Haley in quite a while.
Oh, I would say that like the characters and the writing, all of that's fine. And they're characters that I want to know where they are and what they're doing and how this series of books is going to end. So it just is fine for me. I don't know. We're not going to score it till the end. Do you want to give a synopsis, or are you going to be okay?
I don't even know if I could remember enough for a synopsis.
Ooh, we could do an Ebony synopsis.
God,
No,
this is going to be bad.
Hey, I think I got a good one.
Uh-huh.
Okay. At the opening, there's an Adeptus Mechanicus dude, Hyax. He's doing something on a Necron tomb world. Like,
Man, I completely forgot about that.
see, look, I'm doing great. Pillaging it, finding things. I don't know, whatever the Adeptus Mechanicus has been doing with Necron stuff for a long time and not telling anyone about, which is important for this story, actually. Well, not important, but it matters. And so, like, he's kind of like on Adeptus Mechanicus punishment, and so he's got to go to Belisarius' call, and he's kind of like, I'm really into Necrons, and the other Admech don't like it, so let me go to Archmagos Belisarius' call, wherein he discovers that Call is a heretic and is surprised, and they kind of are working together.
Except that's the last we really see of him.
He's with them on the place.
Yeah, but he gets zero actual, like, POV time.
I was just giving you a synopsis, starting from the beginning, going to the end. I didn't say he was important. I just said he was there.
Like, he is a main character. He feels like he's going to be a main character and then just kind of vanishes.
It's a little bit weird to open your book with a person that we follow for at least 2 chapters and then he doesn't matter for the main story, but that's a choice. So he's with Call. They're doing things about the Mechanicum. I'm not really sure how... Mechanicus.
Mechanicum doesn't exist anymore.
That's true. I'm not really sure how they end up with Guilliman, but at the same time...
Wait, who is this?
Call and Hyax. Like, I'm not sure how Call...
Call has been with Guilliman this whole time throughout the Dawn of Fire.
Okay, but what
Like
about
literally since Avenging Sun.
when the lady tries to see Belisarius Call and he's like, no, I don't got time for that. She's got to see Bo.
Oh, so I did a little bit of research on this.
Okay.
And this ties into a book that we did not read. Do you remember The Carrion Throne? Mm-hmm. Okay. There are 2 other books in that series.
Okay.
That take place before Dawn of... Well, like partially overlapping with Dawn of Fire.
Okay.
Anyway, if you recall, you probably don't.
Okay.
But there
I
is...
like that you're just interrupting my synopsis, but go ahead. It was going to get better.
I'm sure. There was a reference to the death of the Fabricator General of Mars.
Okay.
And the revelation that they, like, knew the scale of the Necron Empire.
But, like, they've been hiding it from the Imperium.
Yes.
Right, because the lady does end up at Gilliman, and he kind of, like, outs her in front of everyone and makes her, like, grovel a little bit.
His death
Okay.
is covered in one of the Carrion Throne series of books.
Okay.
There's a whole other, like, conspiracy going on with that.
Okay, yeah, actually, I think that lady's there to tell Belisarius Call that, like, he should, one, become Fabricator General of Mars for political reasons that he doesn't care about, and also that the Necron might be a legitimate problem.
Right.
And he's like, oh, have you guys been hiding this thing from the rest of the Greater Imperium? And she's like, yeah, kind of. And he's like, you're going to have to tell that to Gilliman. But he never actually sees her. She gets to see Kvo, which is he's one of my favorite characters, so that's cute. Anyway, the sort of crux of the story, we'll just skip those rest of the 20 chapters that are in there, are that Gilliman is going to try and make this push against the Necrons in this Nephilim sector, right? The Nephilim anomaly. What is it called? The Pariah Nexus.
It's
That's
the
what I
Pariah
wanna call it.
Nexus.
Right, and so they know the Necrons are coming. They need to make this push, but he feels like he needs to distract the Necrons from something that's really important, because Belisarius Call thinks that all of the Blackstone pylons are like part of a central system network that allows for Necron instantaneous travel, or whatever it allows for. And so Belisarius wants that, but they can't be seen to be going for it. So they send Fleet Primus to a Necron pylon on a world called Mesmok, I think.
Hang on, I did find the map, and I wanted to...
Oh.
Okay. So, this is Paradise.
With a Y, because why not?
Um,
Yeah, the other Fleet Tertius, goes to Paradise. Fleet Primus goes to Mesmok. And secretly, Belisarius Call, Messinius, that dude Hyax that we don't really care about, Alpha Primus, because he's always with Belisarius Call, and a bunch of white consuls go to a planet called Planet 7-2 because of some...
Oh, 7-2. I
Yeah.
couldn't find the name of it.
Because it doesn't have a name. Because
We listened to this one on audio, and when you're dealing with Adeptus Mechanicus characters in audio, things get rough.
Oh yeah, I
real
don't know.
fast.
I don't know what the rest of Hayek's names is. It's like Persecutor, Kalmala, blah 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 blah, Hayek's, and a bunch of numbers. But Hayek's is in there, so we're going with that. And the planet is blah 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 letters 7-2. And
Chameleon, Hyax, 43 Tau Omicron.
that's right. Yep. And so the rest of the like war is just to distract the Necrons while Belisarius Call goes to Planet 7-2 to sort of figure out the pylon central control system or whatever. And so then we get to meet up with those two prongs, and we get the Call prong. And at least the second prong is my favorite part of the book. We're back with Eloise Athegay and Diomed on their ship.
Under Van Leskis.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the Necron fleet engagement.
Yeah.
And that part is pretty cool.
Oh my god, the naval battle is awesome.
Yeah, it is not as good as the naval battle in Sea of Souls. I will say that. But
Okay.
throughout a lot of 40k lore, it has been mentioned just how incredible the Necron fleets are.
Yeah.
Like, they wipe the floor with everyone for the most part.
Yeah.
It's just their fleets are not that big
Yeah.
previously. And getting to see them, like, actually just defy physics openly is pretty neat.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. And I love Athagay and Diomed and Van Leskis. You're just going to take that, aren't you?
yeah.
Okay. Those are my favorite characters. And it's definitely my favorite part of the book is the sort of climax of that naval battle. I love a competency porn. I love, like, doctors doctoring and soldiers soldiering while the bombs are falling, right? And so, like, you know, there's some twists that we won't spoil about what does or does not happen to important characters, but we get this really great steady character arc from Athagay across the Dawn of Fire series that I feel like is really cemented in this book, and Diomed as well in those scenes. I'll skip back a couple chapters to, like, Van Leskis has a big party to announce that Gilliman has this plan, and you get to see Messinius and Athagay and Diomed interact at this party, and, like, Athagay is trying to get him drunk. It's very good.
I will say, if I had to pick 3 characters that Haley, like, put a lot of time and effort into and kind of focused on, you've got Athagay, you've got Cal, and you've got Messinius,
Yeah.
I would say, are the 3 that...
Sell it for characters in this
There,
book.
there is continuity, there is development, and there's, like, would it be cliche to say soul?
Like, emotional stakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. You get a lot of that. You even get that out of Van Leskis, who is my favorite character to hate in the Dawn of Fire series, right? Because I love Athagay, and Athagay hates Van Leskis. They are frenemies, and right before a big battle, like, Van Leskis surprises her, and they're getting drunk in Athagay's, like, captain's quarters, where I remember and made a note of it in my writing journal. They are drinking actual coffee, and there is a difference between recaf and actual coffee in the Imperium, and I didn't know that.
Nice.
Yeah, so if you're rich enough, you can drink real coffee.
I was having a conversation with someone and they mentioned recaf implies the existence of decaf.
Nobody
And we
wants
just
that.
I think they just call it decaf.
Yeah. Decaf. Maybe it's decaf that you re-put the caffeine into, and thus it's recaffeinated. Yeah, so absolutely the naval battle is the highlight of the book. I think that Belisarius' Call is probably a highlight of any book that he's in when he's written well. So seeing...
Call is a character that you either love to see or roll your eyes when
every
he
time you
shows
see
up.
them, yeah.
Like,
And I loved it.
He is a lot, and maybe too much.
No.
And in a broader sense, maybe too much of 40K as a whole falls on Cal's shoulders.
Yes, that is that you
know
could
what I
complain
mean?
about that, yeah.
Like, the whole meta narrative obviously kind of flows around this, and we knew this from Psychic Awakening. We knew how the Pariah Nexus was formed. There are animations around this. Like, they're kind of beating around the bush on a lot of this stuff. Like, the overall arc of it has been told already.
Yeah.
In Psychic Awakening, in the Pariah Nexus Warzone books. But if you're not reading those supplements and you're just reading this, you're getting, like, little bits and pieces that I don't know. I'm not feeling it too much.
Okay. I mean, I love Belisarius' Call, so every time he shows up, I'm happy about it. It's
Yeah.
fine. But yes, that is a lot of universe for an individual character to be carrying.
Right.
I could agree with that. What you don't get a lot of in this book is, like, a lot of introspection from Gilliman, which is fine. We have gotten that in other books.
Actually, so I went back looking through it. If you recall, there are some scenes with him and Colquhoun over the fact that Gilliman has been purposefully putting himself more in danger lately.
He's bored.
That's not a way to run an Imperium.
Yeah, Colquhoun has some thoughts about, and Messinius has some thoughts, I think, in this book about how one should lead and how one should be a ruler, which are interesting.
I don't know if it ties well enough into Dark Imperium to justify this, but there are definitely signs of Gilliman not cracking, but he is not the same person, you know? He's got plans, and the plans are not working.
Yeah.
And he's trying to put out fires, but that's not working. Like, basically all of his long-term plans
Are kind of crapping out.
Are crapping out, yeah.
Yeah, and you do get some thoughts on Gilliman from characters that are important that I think are interesting. Like there's like a scene where Call sees, because also Gilliman is getting back the McCragg's honor, right? Like we've been on the Dawn of Fire, but he's getting back the McCragg's honor.
That is kind of a neat thing.
Yeah, and Colquine's suspicious because he thinks it's full of demons.
Did you read Huron Blackheart's novel?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Really short side note. When the McCragg's honor was
taken by World Eaters? Red Corsairs?
Red Corsairs, yes.
Okay.
And that happens during the Gathering Storm series, like the books of Gilliman's return. They capture the ship. Gilliman escapes. They hold on to it for a while, trying to figure out what to do with it. Huron is like, we can't use it. It's got all of these like systems that will turn it on us because it recognizes Gilliman. There's an uprising amongst the Red Corsairs. They try to use it anyway. It turns on them, and then it ends up falling back into the Imperium's hands.
Okay. Yeah, and so they've like cleaned it and gotten it, whatever. And so we think, and so Gilliman's going back, and at some point, Call is on the McCragg's honor, and Gilliman has had these artists making this beautiful like fresco of the 500 worlds as he remembers them, and Call has a quick thought about perhaps maybe Gilliman does want to be the emperor, which I don't think I've ever heard that from Call before, so I thought it was interesting. And in this same book you get sort of the same thing from Colquhoun. Colquhoun is, he believes, I think, that Gilliman doesn't want the throne, but he could envision a theoretical and then a practical from Gilliman's point of view where Gilliman does want the throne, and thus he would do it to save the Imperium, and it gives him a little bit of worry.
There's a lot of references lately in the material that we've read for Dark Imperium, for Dawn of Fire, for the end books to the Siege of Terra, Era of Ruin.
Yeah.
Of watch out for Gilliman. He's gonna take over.
Yeah.
And he's gonna kick the Emperor off his throne.
Yeah, what our favorite character from the Era of Ruin stories was like, you watch that Gilliman, Con. He could be bad news.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, and
I really hope that's not true. I hope we're not foreshadowing some other great cataclysmic like civil war, because I don't want that.
Yeah, and that was a thing that when the Lion was first introduced, or even going further back, when the Great Rift was first introduced, they were like, oh, there's going to be this whole war between Imperium Sanctus and Imperium Nihilus, and that never happened. And then the Lion came back, and they're like, oh, there's going to be this war between Gilliman and the Lion, and that never happened. Like,
I don't think that would happen. The Lion was there at Imperium Secundus. Like, he was there. He knows what it was.
Not over Imperium Secundus.
No, I'm just saying, like, the Lion's not going to think that... I wouldn't think, if I were the Lion, that Gilliman was trying to take over the Imperium, having been present with him at Imperium Secundus, watching him make Sanguinius the Emperor.
In the Lion's book, he pretty much says that is what Gilliman is currently doing.
Yeah, I disagree with that perspective, having read that book, but, I guess.
Okay.
The Lion is entitled to his feelings.
What else happened in The Silent King? Oh, Messinius' storyline.
Oh, yeah, so Messinius goes with Call to Planet 7-2. Obviously, it's full of Necrons.
No, before that.
What do you mean before that? I'm going to the after that, where he gets hurt and Call's got to fix him. And
you remember the whole fire on the ship?
Oh, yeah, there was a Tzeentch demon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whole thing with Flamers of Tzeentch. Apparently the biggest flamer of Tzeentch, which is pretty big flamer.
Sorry. We'll have to cut that out.
We're not cutting anything out.
Okay.
No.
Yes, and continue about the flamer.
And there's kind of a moment where Messinius, I wouldn't say is tempted by chaos, but kind of has his fortune told to him.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a temptation.
No.
He did not waffle.
No.
I wouldn't.
Although one of the other white consuls did.
Yes.
That it was like this weird side arc about how the Tzeentch demon showed up, and I thought it was done decently. It just felt a little out of place.
I really like this. This is the part where I forgot this happened in this book, where the dude who worked in the engine room started seeing his dead family, and there was a fire. Yeah, actually, it was great. It was very Halloween vibes. I was into it, but I forgot it happened in this book because that was in the 20 chapters that are unrelated to the Silent King and the rest of the Dawn of Fire series.
Yeah, like, despite the title, despite the location, despite the cool,
space battles.
Space battle.
Yeah.
This is mostly an Adeptus Mechanicus book.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
I feel like it could be 3 separate books. It could be a Call AdMech book. It could be...
I'm not a fan, because there's a couple other books that I've heard, like, oh, this could have been, like, 2 separate novellas. It's like, well, I've gotten books that were 3 separate novellas.
Not great.
Not great. So, I have 2 minds of that.
Yeah, I'm not saying they had to be 3 separate books, but there are 3 separate kind of story arcs potentially happening. So he sees that Tzeentch demon, banishes that Tzeentch demon. That's all I got about the Tzeentch demon. Yeah. But the ending of his story in this book is that Messenius goes with Call to Planet 7-2. Obviously, there are Necrons there. A big Necron battle ensues. They almost all get killed. Messenius gets very hurt. Many of the white consuls that they've taken with them get killed. And then eventually Call's genius kicks into high gear and they figure a way to use the pylons to transport them. So they do some sort of transport or magic to get back to the Macragge's honor is going to be my guess. And Call has to save Messenius. He is mortally injured and he is going to cross the Rubicon Primaris.
Yep. Which does explain his Primaris status in Dark Imperium.
Yes.
There was another part that I did kind of like, and that was when they're first entering the Pariah Nexus and the warp travel is so calm and messages are so easy to send and everyone is like, oh,
this is great.
This is nice.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, those are good. There are good scenes for sure throughout the book.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the whole storyline doesn't feel appropriate for an end stone, like a capstone. Except maybe the last chapter. Singular.
Yeah, I guess. I feel like the intensity of the naval battle and the, like, changes, I will say, to avoid spoilers, that happen to characters that are super important and how they might end up in places that are super interesting. I'm really trying not to spoil it.
Yeah.
That is the highlight for me, and it comes right after all the emotional intensity that you've built up with those characters.
Ooh. Now I'm thinking back on it.
Yeah.
Man, now I really wish this was in the Martyr's Tomb spot. And the reason being, so you've got this big fleet battle that the Imperium loses. Following Sea of Souls, that the big fleet battle that the Imperium loses.
Yeah.
Following that, though, you have the Blackstone Fortress, which is a Necron element that was taken... Well, Necron, old one. Issues with that.
Yes.
That is a success.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what they would have done as a follow-up to that, but I do think, like, theme-wise, that
could have worked.
That would have worked better.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not...
You're not into... You really aren't into it today.
This one just... maybe because it was audio. I don't know. Maybe I would have liked it better otherwise, but...
What about the last chapter and leading into...
Okay. So last chapter, we've got Cal meeting with Guilliman, basically introducing him to Cal Inferior.
Yes.
And saying where he's going next.
Yeah.
Which is Sotha, which if you've read The Great Work is a tie-in to that. And then Guilliman says, I'm heading back to Ultramar because the Death Guard is on the move.
And I think Mortarion's coming.
Which is obviously a tie-in to Dark Imperium.
Yep.
There was another...
He also, like, knights Messenius and makes him... and gives the white consuls
that's right.
a homeworld that is unnamed. We still don't know what it's called, but we assume it's in or near the Pariah Nexus.
Oh, and then there's a a mention of the well of Rukos, something like
Oh, the Raukos, right? Yeah.
that. Which also plays into Dark Imperium.
Yeah.
So,
Because it's the triumph of Raukos.
Yes.
At the
Yeah,
start of
yeah.
the Dark Imperium.
So lots of little elements to tie into other stories.
So the
at
last
end.
two words in the book are Dark Imperium.
Yes. It's like, how will we handle this,
This
Dark Imperium?
Dun dun dun.
And it's like,
It's a little heavy-handed.
it's so heavy-handed.
What would you score this book?
I'm giving it a 6.
Oh, that's so much better. You were so dramatic in the beginning. I thought you were going to give it a 3. I was like, what are we doing?
Okay, maybe like 5.5.
I'm not trying to I'm not changing
listen,
your score, sir.
I got stuck in my head like, oh, this would have fit where the Martyr's Tomb is,
Mm-hmm.
and I hated the Martyr's Tomb. I can't possibly score this worse than the Martyr's Tomb.
That's a fair
Not that I
judgment.
remember what I scored the Martyr's Tomb, but did I give it a 4?
I don't know, but it was
don't know.
probably bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I would give it...
that's where I am on that.
I think I would call it... I was going to call it a 5 at the opening.
Really?
But I think I want to call it a 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're close.
6?
Yeah, I think Athagay's story and the fleet battle save it for me.
Okay.
And Belisarius calls every single line that he ever delivers saves every book that he's in for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could call it a solid 6. If you chopped off, I don't know, the first 18 chapters, I could call it like a good 7.5.
This isn't a capstone to the Dawn of Fire, is my
Yeah.
big problem.
It's
not.
I wanted more.
You know? It is an introduction of a completely different element in order to bounce every character off of the Dawn of Fire and basically say, okay, go to your other storylines now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hanging out at a solid 5.5 for us.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. What are we reading next?
So next up, we've got Ghazghkull Thraka,
that's
Prophet
right.
of the Wog.
Someone finally got me to read an orc book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this one.
Okay.
Everyone has given this high praise for a while. So.
Yeah.
And it is... Who is that? Nate Crowley?
I believe so, but I could
Okay.
be wrong.
We have not done his 2 Necron books as well, which we'll probably get to eventually. They are described as the polar opposite in tone to The Infinite and the Damned.
Oh, the Infinite and the Divine?
Infinite and the Divine.
I
yeah.
hated those. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. We'll see. We'll see you next time.
Bye.